Welcome to the Comic WatchTower. My name is Roman Pinheiro, Mr. CE Avengers, Joan, Mrs. CE Avengers here, and our friend Nick. And we're all going to be talking about comic books today. So what's going to be coming up next is Doctor Strange. Coming out in about 2 weeks. After this recording, it might be a week or so. So let's talk about Doctor Strange. What do you guys think Doctor Strange is going to be about compared to the origin story of Doctor Strange?
I mean, they're not going with the Baron Mordo being evil, or maybe they're hiding it.
Yeah, well, who's that guy that's like, he looks like the guy with the sunken-in eyes?
Oh,
in the trailer.
Mads Mikkelsen's playing?
Yeah.
Caecilius.
Caecilius, okay.
But technically, Caecilius was a servant of Baron Mordo, but I think they're going to go with a different route, making him a servant of Dormammu.
Okay.
Going to Phase 4. But that's...
So, I mean, do you think, I mean, how are we going to kind of blend this into the MCU? Because if you think about it, you know, right now they've been all pretty much straight arrow type of stuff, other than, you know, of course, you know, the Hulk and all the sci-fi stuff. But, I mean, it's been kind of more grounded, while this is like Inception type of look to it. Like, if you look at it, it's the Inception where the buildings are all folding into each other. And
well, they went into the quantum realm already with Ant-Man.
Okay.
So that was just kind of a taste of it. But all the early reviews are saying it's incredible and a must-see in IMAX 3D.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm not going to see it in IMAX. I mean, are you going to see it in IMAX?
No, I'm poor. I can't.
Well, the closest IMAX to us is, what, almost an hour and a half away?
Yeah, it's Palisades.
With assigned seating, which is good.
Yeah, recommended. But basically, for the MCU, how I feel that's going to go out is that, like in the comics, Doctor Strange actually gives them a premonition of the things like in the dream world that Thor had, kind of similar to that in what Avengers 2. And hopefully, or the Age of Ultron, whichever you want to call it, but hopefully they get a kind of setup where you actually go down that framework or actually incorporate. I think, from what I heard, Tony Stark is supposed to be in the movie somehow, form or fashion.
I heard a rumor about that. I mean, there was also the behind-the-scenes photos of Thor and Loki, but that's for Ragnarok, I think, at the end credits. With what I've heard so far as rumors for the post-credit scenes is Doctor Strange actually foresees everything that's going to happen with Thanos coming through.
With the Infinity Wars?
Yeah, going into Infinity.
So, I mean, that basically Doctor Strange kind of get a rating. So, you know, must see, not going to see, or...
Oh, I'm totally going to see it. I've seen everything so far, so...
I've seen everything, so it's just I have to see it.
Well, the way that the ticket sales have gone so far is that it's supposed to come up to the same amount as Ant-Man. So as of right now, that's the way they're posting it. So it could be the same type of run as Ant-Man, which was actually very enjoyable.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, technically,
I just think no one really knows about him as much as they would an Iron Man or a Thor. So even though the movie might be fantastic and people might love it, but it just might not reach the same population as an Avengers movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, other than the Captain America Civil War, most of these are individual origin stories. Now, the only thing is that, you know, depending on the framework that they set up for Doctor Strange, you said that that's going to be more what, stage or phase 4?
Yeah, which they've already said that Doctor Strange is going to play a huge role in phase 4, so Illuminati.
Okay, that's what's
open.
Yeah, I mean, with all the new characters that are going to be coming out, you don't think that they're going to kind of go another route to get the new Avengers in, where it's like, you know, what is that, Riri Williams and the new Captain America for Falcon, or even Bucky, maybe.
But you think it's too much, too new, too soon? Like, there's still so much more that they're like doing. I'd like to change all the characters right now. Isn't that a little much?
Well,
in the
you gotta
movies?
remember, Downey Jr. is only going to be like what? He's going to be like 52 at the end of this, 53.
Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna do it until he can't walk, and then he's gonna make prosthetic legs like he did for Rose.
Oh God. And then, and then Captain America, Chris Evans, he's supposed to be extended. I mean, I totally thought that he was going to die in Civil War, but apparently they kind of broadcasted that out and instead killed Crossbones supposedly. But throwing him into the building kind of tells you, okay, maybe he's dead, maybe.
Or not.
I don't know. He's supposed to kill him, or at least set up Sharon Carter to kill him.
Yeah. Well,
Spoilers.
comics, I used to get really angry about the way that they would change something from the comic into the movies, but then I had to think of it as a completely separate universe in the multiverse.
Well, there's what is it, Earth 616, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
I had to look at it that way.
Plus
it's not going to be the same.
plus Marvel doesn't have all their properties, which is something we'll get into. But as of right now, Spider-Man's finally back, thank God, which was a long type of broadcast before they actually announced the news on it. So hopefully there's some news about Fox might talk up to Marvel about doing
I fucking
something.
hope so.
Exactly. So yeah,
I don't beat
I'll beep him. It's all right.
them.
So hey, listen, this might be for kids too. So now, now that we kind of talked about Doctor Strange, another kind of key thing that we want to talk about is the next up and coming Marvel, Fox, Sony, or DC movies. The next movie that's going to be coming out, which is in about March, is Logan, or Old Man Logan, or the rated R
Don't say
Wolverine.
Logan. It has nothing to do with it. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with the story. It's just Logan.
I know, but bottom line is the premise for the whole thing is they're going to actually be coming from the Old Man Logan story without the actual story. Because, I mean, they don't have Hawkeye.
They're just making him old. That's all.
At that point, it's not really making any sense. Just make Wolverine's health factor just disappear.
Yeah, but the actor himself is old. You can't keep having him.
Well, this is his last Wolverine movie.
He said last standalone Wolverine movie. So I'm assuming that he'll probably do cameos, but I kind of hope that they just cut it out.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be casting possibly Tom Hardy, right? I believe that's his name, Tom Hardy.
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, well, if you guys know Boss Logic, he does a lot of graphic design. He does an awesome portrait of Tom Hardy, and in the Wolverine type of look, with a cigar in his mouth, looked awesome.
Was that the same guy that did Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, same guy. So if you see his artwork, definitely Boss, we could talk. But if you see his artwork, and we're actually going to have a couple artists on here as well. We're going to start with Steve Desario next week, who's a close friend of ours who did some tremendous artwork on Lady Death. So, now going into Doctor Strange, like I said, and then now we're going to be talking about Logan. The storyline is supposed to be that in the comics is that he's on a journey with Hawkeye, a blind Hawkeye, and if I remember correctly, he's supposed to be going on a journey with him and go through all this stuff. From what I see in the trailer is that they're going to have like an X-23, which is his supposed clone / daughter or whatever you want to call it, to take over the reins of Wolverine. What do you think about a female Wolverine?
Well, essentially what I read for the plot spoiler, obviously spoiler, but Wolverine and Professor X come together after most of the mutants have become extinct, and they find out that they're cloning mutants. They find out that one of them was a clone of Wolverine. So since Wolverine's regenerative abilities have not necessarily subsided, but they've been impaired, and Professor X has Alzheimer's now and can't use his powers to his maximum, they team together to try and find this clone, and it turns out that it's a little girl. and the person behind it is Nathaniel Essex, or Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, which they hinted in the last movie.
Yeah.
With Days of Future.
Yeah.
Days of
Uh,
Future.
no.
No, the
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. That's right. So
We just forget that happened.
yeah. I mean, but they did hint it, so it would have been really good. But I mean, I don't know how they're going to translate Mr. Sinister, who's supposed to have like that purplish look to his
I don't think they're gonna go with like his
comic book.
post look. I think they're gonna do it before he became Mr. Sinister.
Okay. I mean, that would kind of make sense. I mean, but what do you think about a female Wolverine?
Well, we talked about this before. I definitely think that the MCU needs more female characters.
Okay. Well, this is
was
Fox.
Fox,
But I mean, they had Jean Grey, they had Storm. You know, the thing is that this is like a major male character. Now they're going to be kind of transferring the reins to a female character.
It's okay. Fox will ruin it. It's fine.
So I mean,
but aren't they doing that with Iron Man?
yeah, but that's all in comic book right now. Riri Williams is taking over the reins for Tony Stark in the comics, and she's in high school. She's supposed to be like a genius. You know, which is okay. I mean, eventually they have to trade the reins over. Like, you know, Peter Parker went to Miles Morales, which was a good transition with the multiverse.
Hope they bring that in.
You know, that'd be a great premise to go over the multiverse or the Spider-Verse. So, you know, that would be a great tie-in for Homecoming, like if they were to open that up eventually. I mean, I hope that they bring in more of Venom and Carnage first before they do even the Spider-Verse. But in a lot of the Ultimate Spider-Man works that they've been doing on like Disney and all that stuff, they've been kind of pushing more of the Spider-Verse. I mean, we got to remember a lot of this has to do with toy sales, and what better way than being able to sell multiple different types of Spider-Man, because kids will go nuts. I mean, that's the premise that I would think. But you know, just staying on the topic at hand, you know, Logan. So is it a must see, not see, or we're totally gonna write it off?
I mean, I'll see it because I watch everything, but I'm not spending extra money.
So no high expectations.
No, I don't have really high expectations for anything that Fox puts out anymore, because they've kind of ruined the X-Men.
So they're going in the premise of Sony, then, is what you're saying, which hopefully Fox sees this and says, you know what, maybe we should work with the MCU now. So what do you say?
I see every movie, so.
So we're going to see it?
Of course we are.
Okay.
Did we ever not?
So we're going to see it, but high expectations, low expectations.
I like Wolverine.
Okay. So, you know, definitely going to see it. Not sure if it's a must-see or not, and I'm trying to keep the light off in my head, so pardon me. But now, so that's two movies that we have coming out in the near future. The next one is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or Volume 2. So let's go with our expectations for that movie. Are we going to see finally Star-Lord's dad, or?
Yeah, they already announced it.
Okay. And then?
I'm going to spoil it, but it's Ego the Living Planet.
A planet?
Yeah.
How did his mom...
Wait.
You know, with a planet?
From what I heard, there was footage at San Diego Comic-Con that kind of explained that, and he can, even in the comics, he's able to take another form, so he transformed into a humanoid. And in this footage that they released at San Diego Comic-Con, Drax asked him about his penis, and he said, yeah, it's pretty great. So I'm super excited for it, just because the first one was great. I bought the vinyl soundtrack, the Mondo version, which has incredible artwork.
Okay. And then now we have Semi-Baby Groot, which is, you know, still kind of cute. But do you think we're going to have a full-fledged Groot again in number 2?
2, no.
Okay. And now, if you saw it in the trailer, the sister of Gamora, what was her name again? Nebula, correct. She's back.
Yeah.
They rebuilt her.
She actually...
They had the technology.
Becomes part of the Guardians.
Now, do you think that she's actually going to be a part in this one, or do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she's definitely going to join.
She is going to be in it as part of the Guardians, and so is Mantis, the original Guardian, and
now,
Yondu.
Yeah, well, Yondu gets his mohawk.
Yeah, but he's actually part of the Guardians rather than just a Ravager.
Okay. Now, the only thing is that
You
if
can
you
see
follow
that.
the comics, basically, Nebula's supposed to help, I guess, steal the gauntlet from Thanos. Do you think that's going to transpire in in the movie?
Thanos is not going to be in this.
No, not in this one. But I'm saying once we get into the Infinity Wars, he's going to have the gauntlet. We know he's going to have the gauntlet, and he's going to have all
Well, he
five
has
Infinity
it.
Stones.
He has it now. I don't know 100% what's going to transpire in Infinity War with the Guardians yet.
Yeah.
I know some of them have been officially announced, like Peter Quill's been officially announced to be part of it. I feel like Hillary Clinton right now. And Drax was officially announced.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. You must smell like shit. Just saying.
It's probably because I've been sick.
But okay, so going into Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we have how many more movies? We have Black Panther. We have Miss Marvel.
Which will be after Infinity War.
Okay, so it's going to go after. So
Part
right,
one. I
I
think
thought
it's 2
we-
months after part.
I thought we
Infinity
changed
War,
it.
and then
Avengers
it's
3.
before Avengers 4.
Avengers 3.
Avengers 3 is Avengers 3 Infinity War, and then
Oh, so they're going to call it
Avengers
Avengers 3.
it's Avengers 3, but it's Avengers Infinity War.
You
and
guys are
then
messing me
Avengers
up,
4.
Marvel, with all these different names. Just keep it consistent. So the time frame is going to be all right. So Miss Marvel is not going to come out until after. So Miss Marvel is not even. Well, we have a cast.
She will be in Infinity War, though.
Okay,
Love Brie Larson.
she's the one from the movie with
She
Tom
was
Cruise,
in-
right?
She was in Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, Scott Pilgrim, and then wasn't she in the one with Tom Cruise? Or that's I'm thinking somebody else.
I have no idea.
Okay. No, so
Watched Tom
Brie-
Cruise movies,
So
except for Tropic Thunder.
okay, yeah.
It's a different story.
But so I mean, we have her casted already. Well, we don't, but Marvel does.
No, I cast.
Yeah, you casted her, all right. And then so now we're out of Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going into Black Panther, and then from there we're going to the Infinity War. So they have one more movie to kind of tie everything in before the Infinity Wars begins.
Ragnarok.
Oh, and Ragnarok. Yeah. See, that's why. So the last Thor. Well, we're not going to even get into the next Thor, but basically this is the kind of timeline that we're looking at. So for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the conversation between Peter Quill and Drax was pretty good in the trailer. It was a little funny. I'm not going to say it was like tremendously, oh my God, I'm going to die laughing funny.
No,
but-
it's the dry humor that is
Yeah.
Drax, which is great.
Yeah. So, so Guardians of the Galaxy 2, is that a before C? Like, are we going to go IMAX? Is it going to be, because there's going to be a lot of space effects and stuff like that. Are we going to go just, we're going to go see it? Or is it going to be like, a number 2? You know how sequels sometimes fall short of their predecessors, sometimes. Like, for instance, you can't really say that for the Captain Americas, but you can say that maybe for Iron Man 3. Maybe.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay. But I'm just saying. So, must see for Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
The first one I saw like 3 times in theaters, and I've probably watched it more times than any other movie that I have, so absolutely I'm going to see it
Okay.
multiple times.
IMAX? If it comes out in IMAX?
We'll see if I have money.
That was a, I wish I could see that, Brie. IMAX,
Definitely-
regular?
I would definitely see that one in IMAX.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy IMAX. Doctor Strange, we're gonna see it. Not necessarily an IMAX film for us, but you never know. You might want to go check that out. And Logan, it's like a love-hate relationship. You want to see it because it's the character that you love, but it's like it's Fox. Yeah. So those are the couple of movies that we're gonna review today. And we're gonna kind of talk as we go along during our episodes about more of theory. And also different castings of different shows or movies. Follow us, subscribe to us, and add us to your list. The Comic WatchTower is here to give you comic book news.